and welcome to Miss Bailey's Daily Dose. Today we are going to be learning to compare different lengths. If you're in year 2, you're going to be looking at lengths in centimetres and metres, and if you're in year 3, you're going to be looking at lengths in centimetres, metres and millimetres. So today we're going to be comparing and ordering different lengths. So say if we were having a little look at my caterpillars here, we can use the language of which is longer, which is shorter, which is the longest, and which one is the shortest. So they all start at exactly the same point, which is perfect, because we know when we're measuring, we always have to start from the same point, and on our ruler, that's from the 0 centimetres or the centimetre bit, right at the beginning. So if we were looking at, for example, which is longer, we could say the red caterpillar is longer than the blue caterpillar. We could also say that the blue caterpillar is longer than the green caterpillar. If we were looking at shorter, the blue caterpillar is shorter than the red caterpillar. The green caterpillar is shorter than the blue and the red caterpillar. The longest of them all is the red one, and you can see that here, you can see the difference, it's the longest, so that would be the red one. And the shortest of them all, change colour, would be the green one, because you can see that that's a lot shorter than the other one, so it stops at an earlier point than the red one and the blue one. First of all, we're going to have a look at ordering different lengths in ascending order. That means from the shortest all the way to the longest. And it's really important, again, that we're looking at making sure that each of those items start at the same point. Because if they don't, or if they're not fully outstretched properly, then we're not measuring accurately. So I've got some snakes here, and we're going to have a little look at how long they are in ascending order. Now, we don't need our rulers at the minute. This is why I've chosen to do examples like this, because you can see them rather than actually measuring them. So the first thing that we need to do is to double check that they all start at the same position. So you can see that A starts on this blue line, so does D, and so does E. But B and C don't, so we need to keep that in mind. We can't just say, oh, C looks like it's the second longest because it's the same length as E, because actually C hasn't started where E has, which would mean that E is longer. So the best way to do this is to find the shortest first, then the longest, and then make our way through. So, oh, sorry guys. So, if we're looking at the shortest, the one that's the shortest length, I can see very clearly, even if we moved C up and we moved B up, that D is definitely the shortest. So I'm going to put D in here, and we'll get rid of D. Oh. Then I'm looking at the longest. So I can see that A starts exactly at the right point, and it's the longest out of all of them. It ends there. So A is the longest, so I can get rid of A. Now I've got to figure out what the next shortest one is. So which one is now the shortest? If I've got rid of A and I've got rid of D, which one's the next shortest? And I can see that even if I moved B up a little bit, B would be shorter than C if C had moved up. So it's going to be B. And then I can either find the next longest, or if I can see which one it is, I can just put them in. So we'll try by finding the next longest. So we've got E and C left. Now E and C stop at exactly the same point, pretty much. However, C starts here and E starts here. So E is actually longer than C, because if I moved C up a little bit, it wouldn't be as long as that, it wouldn't stop there. So I know that E is the second longest and C is the third longest. Then we can go in descending order. Now that's from the longest to the shortest. It's like it's going backwards in descending order. So again, I can find the longest. I know the longest is A. I can find the shortest. I know the shortest is D. I can find the next longest. I know that that's E. I can find the next shortest. I know that's B. The only one I've got left is C. Now we're going to be using inequality signs, so our equal sign, our greater than, our less than, to compare different lengths. So sometimes you might have lengths using the same units, sometimes you might have lengths using different units. So the best thing to do is to convert them to the same unit if you don't know. So for example, I've got 10 centimetres and 1 metre. What a lot of the children will do is they'll see 10 and they'll see 1 and they'll go, oh, 10's more than 1. So it's got to be that 10 is more than 1. Let me do that in a different colour. However, metres are more than centimetres because 100 centimetres makes 1 metre. So we know that actually that is incorrect. So what I can do is I can convert my metres into centimetres. Well, I know 100 centimetres is the same as, it's equal to 1 metre. So this would actually be 100 centimetres. Now I know that 100 is a lot larger than 10. So 10 centimetres is less than 100 centimetres. Remember, Charlie the crocodile only eats the biggest number. And then I've got 35 metres and 35 centimetres. Again, I could change that 35 metres into centimetres. And I know that there are 100 centimetres in 1 metre. So there's got to be 100 times 35 to get 35 metres. And the way I do that is I move the 3 and the 5 2 spaces. So it would be 3, 5, 0, 0 centimetres. And again, I can see that 3,500 centimetres is a lot more than 35 centimetres. And then I've got 100 centimetres and 1 metre. Again, I'm changing the 1 metre. So 1 metre is the same as 100 centimetres. I change it. 100 centimetres is the same as 100 centimetres. So I can put my equal sign. Oh, doesn't want to come on this side. And then I've got some here, again for my year 2. So 100 centimetres, 100 metres. Again, I know that metres are more than centimetres. So I know straight away that 100 metres is more than 100 centimetres. I'm going to do this in a different colour just so you can see. Now I've got 35 metres and 35 metres. So I've got to decide whether 35 metres is greater than 35 metres, the same as, or less than. And I know that 35 metres is exactly the same as 35 metres. So I'm using my equal sign. And then I've got 1 metre and 1 centimetre. Again, try and convert. So the 1 metre is the same as 100 centimetres. I know 100 is more than 1. So 100 centimetres is greater than 1 centimetre. Then we can have a look at some of the year 3 ones. So year 3 ones are using metres, millimetres and centimetres. So I've got 10 centimetres and 100 millimetres. Again, I can either convert the centimetres to millimetres or the millimetres to centimetres. It would probably be easier to do the alternate one. So I know that 1 millimetre is the same as 1/10 of a centimetre. So I need to divide 100 by 10. That's how many 10s go into 100. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 110. So 100 millimetres is the same as 10 centimetres. So 10 centimetres is the same as or equal to 10 centimetres. I've got 40 centimetres and 350 millimetres. Again, if I convert in millimetres to centimetres, I divide by 10. That means that all of these digits go down by 1 in the place value chart. So we'd have 3, 5, so 35 centimetres. 35 centimetres is less than 40 centimetres. And then I've got 100 centimetres, so 105 millimetres. Well, again, I know that millimetres are smaller, they're 1/10 of the size of centimetres. So I know that the 100 centimetres is going to be greater. And if I was doing the 105 millimetres into centimetres, I divide by 10, which gets me 10.5 centimetres. I know that 100 centimetres is way bigger than 10.5 centimetres. Now I've got some other ones. So I've got 10 centimetres with 6 millimetres and 10 centimetres on its own. Well, I know that 10.6 centimetres is the same as 10 centimetres and 6 millimetres. So I know that that's a 0.6 more than 10 centimetres, so I know it's going to be bigger. Then I've got 35.6 centimetres and 35.7 centimetres. So the 35 is both the same. The bit we need to look at is the number after the point, after the decimal point. So that's 6 and that's 7. Well, I know that 7 is more than 6. Therefore, I know that 35.7 centimetres is more than 35.6 centimetres. And finally, we've got 200 millimetres and 200 centimetres. Again, convert. So 200 millimetres, if I divide that by 10, becomes 20 centimetres. 20 centimetres is less than 200 centimetres. Oh, sorry guys, gone the other way. The final bit is for you to complete the statements to make them true. And you can complete them with whichever numbers you like, as long as it makes sense and makes it true. So 60 millimetres is the same as how many centimetres? I divide by 10, which means my 6 moves. It's the same as 6 centimetres. 18 centimetres is a less than a certain amount of millimetres. Now I can choose whatever amount of millimetres as long as it's larger than 18 centimetres. Well, I know if I times that by 10, it becomes 180 millimetres. So it's got to be more than 180 millimetres. So I could have 190 millimetres. I could have 355 millimetres. I could have 181 millimetres. Whatever. And then we've got 20 metres is more than a certain amount of metres. Again, we're looking at another measurement of metres that's below 20 metres. So it could be 1 metre. It could be 0.5 metres, which would be half a metre.